A summit is about to be held to put Nigeria front and center when it comes to MSME development in Africa. And we do have an MSME award coming up with lots of goodies for people in this sector that contribute so much to our GDP as a country. Today on the program, we have a conversation with the SA to the President on MSMEs to find out what challenges they're facing, what the plans are for this year, and how we can take the MSMEs in Nigeria to greater heights. I will be getting to all of that right after we look at all the major stories from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with a rundown of the major stories this week from Nigeria's presidency. It's time for Abuja Rap.
President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to supporting Mali's democratic transition and deepening economic ties between the two nations, declaring that West African countries are stronger when united. The president made this declaration while receiving a letter of credence from the ambassador of the Republic of Mali, Sheikh Omar Coulibaly. The ambassador of Mali thanked the president for consistently providing leadership for the sub-region and the continent, while acknowledging the Nigerian military supply of troops for various UN peace missions on the continent and the sub-region. President Tinubu also received letters of credence from 5 other envoys, urging closer cooperation to promote global peace, understanding and prosperity. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for a stronger collaboration between the European Union and Africa in the areas of renewable energy, education, and digital inclusion. The Vice President made the call when he met with a delegation from the EU led by its ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ambassador Gautier Mignon, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. President Bola Tinubu has pledged his administration's continued support to the Nigerian Air Force and other security agencies in the country in the area of fleet modernization, training, and their welfare. He made the pledge at the induction ceremony of 2 Tracker helicopters into Nigerian Air Force held in Abuja. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president also says his government will invest more in defense technologies.
My administration will continue to support the Nigerian Air Force and indeed other security agencies by giving due attention and priority to fleet modernization, as well as training and welfare of our men and women in uniform. As your Commander-in-Chief, I understand that a well-equipped military is essential not only for securing our nation, but also for preserving our democracy.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima says now is a great time to invest in Nigeria, explaining that President Bola Tinubu has addressed most of the bottlenecks affecting businesses in the country. The Vice President stated this during a meeting with a delegation from the Islamic Development Bank at the State House, Abuja. Petrobras, Brazil's state-owned oil firm, is seeking to re-enter Nigeria's oil sector with a specific interest in frontier deep-water acreage. The Minister of Foreign Affairs disclosed this during an interministerial review meeting to coordinate Nigeria's preparations for the second session of the Nigerian-Brazil Strategic Dialogue Mechanisms scheduled for June 2025. The federal government has confirmed paying back fully the $3.4 billion loan received from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, confirmed this while briefing State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja. The Council also approved an initiative known as Medipool, which will enable Nigerians to buy drugs and other medical consumables at lower prices.
My guest on the program is the Special Advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on MSMEs, Dr. Temitola Johnson. And together we'll be trying to find out what the plans are for MSMEs in Nigeria. This award show coming up at some point during the year, the AU Summit on MSMEs, and how we can take advantage of the MSME space in Nigeria to shore up our economic development. Please watch this. Mr. Johnson, welcome again to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you, Kayla. It's nice to be here.
All right, so let's talk. There's quite a lot of things going on. The last time you were here, you were talking about plans to expand Nigeria's MSME space. Since then, we have heard a committee has been set up getting ready for the hosting of this AU Summit on MSMEs this year. There's also going to be an MSME awards show. So let's start off with something I heard the Vice President talk about a few days ago. he started off by saying something about building bridges, digital bridges that would launch us into the MSME space in Africa and make us the place to look at when you're thinking of growing MSMEs. Talk to us a bit about some of these digital bridges and what does that mean?
So this year, Nigeria will have the honor of hosting the 4th African Union MSME Forum. It's been hosted by 3 other nations before Nigeria. And the premise, what was the premise under which Nigeria and was given the hosting rights? Look at the population of the continent, about 1.5 billion. Look at Nigerians' population, 235. So that's about 16, almost 17% of the entire African population. Now let's look at the number of MSMEs in the continent, about 60 million. And the number of MSMEs, registered MSMEs in Nigeria, well, hovering on around 40 million, 38, 40 million. So that's more than half of the entire African continent. So it was imperative that we as a nation will host it. Basically, the countries that have hosted it in the past have done very well. But look at the theme for this year. We are looking at how to sort of use the digital economy to support SMEs, using that also to open market access for these SMEs. And lastly, providing them with access to markets. So this falls in line with the president's one of his agenda for support for MSMEs. If you recall the last time I was here, I mentioned something about the risking fund that the state governments, the federal government, some of our commercial banks, some of our developmental and financial institutions, we're going to come together to launch what we call a de-risking fund. What the de-risking fund will do is that the state government provides some funds, our commercial banks and our private sector partners, or our developmental and financial institutions will match that fund. It now provides that state an opportunity to successfully disburse loans to SMEs at a way lower rate than what is obtainable. Right now, the going market, interest rates are between 28% to 31%. No SME can really survive on that. There are businesses now that you don't even need to own your own shop. You don't even need to own a store, but they are making loads of money. There are businesses that now use AI to market their businesses, AI to generate, AI to net, AI to gross. So all of those things will be value added to our SMEs. And the last day, which is the MSME Awards itself, in short, as a matter of fact, on my way to the studio, one of the property development companies just offered us another house for one of the winners. They heard what we did last year, and they've sent the jingles to some of the things we're going to be doing. And they said, they asked if it was too late. I said, no, it's never too late. So they've offered to give another SME a brand new house. So we're going to be sometime, I think way before I got into government, I was having a discussion with one of my uncles. I'm from Lagos Island. But he had gone to do something in the southeast, and he had spoken about something about Udoji money. I don't know what that is about. But he told me that there was a time he got some money called Udoji money. I don't know whether they were giving some funds, and it was termed Udoji money. But this my uncle is over 60. That still rings in his mind. Udoji money. It means that whatever it is that money, it left an impact in his life. So what we are trying to do is that we want SMEs to come for these awards. And many years later, let them say, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, represented by Vice President Shatima, I got my own house. I became a shop owner. I stopped paying rent for my shop. That is kind of effect.
I got my own house. That is kind of effect we want to have. We want to have, it's called a lasting effect. So it's going to be post the Tinubu administration. That's It's a little very sweet to the ear, you know, because we do have a situation where business owners in Nigeria they're being put through the ringer. Subsidies on everything are being removed, and now they have to deal with market forces. And with declining income, with inflation, with our money not having the kind of value that can add value to you as a business owner, many people are left thinking of closing shop, unable to handle the situation that they find themselves in, especially people who want to start business in this country. Just so we can remember that prize money, I like to hear what it is. Just so business owners can be thinking, okay, there's this out there. What's the prize money again?
Okay, so every category goes on. So some categories we go on with a shop. So you either win a shop and some money. So it's shop and some money. Now, the total amount has not been, because we do not want to, as of today, it's been fixed at a certain amount. We might wake up tomorrow
and add something to it.
A partner comes and says, you know what, I would like to top that up.
But what is the number? When it increases, we'll let the people know.
Yeah. As of today, it is 5 million and a shop.
5 million naira.
5 million naira and a shop.
And a shop,
yeah.
Okay.
In some categories.
Do you know how many categories?
So there are a total of 12 categories.
Okay.
Now, so in some categories, 5 million and a shop. And in some categories, 5 million and a car. And the MSME of the year, I think, is about 20 million naira, a car, a house, a shop.
In Abuja?
Yes. The shop in Abuja, the house in Abuja. The house that they've just offered us is in Lagos. So we have 2 houses, basically. So that's it. So we might, before I see a situation where before the awards itself, we'll probably be upping the 5 million naira to an average of maybe 7.5.
Yeah.
10. But as it is, as we speak today, that's what we have on ground. If we're to have the awards tomorrow, that's what we play out.
Who are the people that are going to be awarded? And for someone who's hearing this for the first time, is it too late?
Kayla, trust me. So sometime in March, we had there's a committee we had and we had announced that I think the portal opened 7th of March, closed 7th of April. So we had 1 month where the portal was open, and MSMEs in different categories, in different clusters went to apply: furniture, creative industry, fashion, manufacturing, woodworks, all of them, they went to apply. Also, we have 2 categories for MSMEs that have, as a result of the MSME clinics, there are outstanding SMEs that we see during the clinic. So for the past 1 year, the SMEs that the VP has seen, there's a male category, there's a female category. So that encourages people to come for the clinics as well, because they win cars as well, and money.
Oh, yeah. What's the biggest problem with the MSME space in Nigeria, in your view? And how do you think it can be sorted out?
So, from the regulatory parts, and let's say from the government parts. You see, because we must understand that as a business owner, there's a responsibility to yourself as a business owner. For instance, you're a business owner running a business, your business is not registered. To be honest, you are not in business yet. If you have a business that is not registered, you're not in business. One day government wakes up and says to you that you can't run that business again because it's not registered. What happens to all you have crossed or you have netted? So you must think of that. You must register your business. And as a business owner, you must go into your business for the right reasons. You are skilled at what you do. I'm not able to do what you do. I know exactly what I can do. So I see you making money in what you do, then I want to do what you do. You are going in business for the wrong reason. You're going into it because Kela is making money. A business idea or a business venture that you like must be something that you can do for 3 or 4 years. Even if you don't make billions out of it, you are happy waking up in the morning to go and do it. When you become a master of that thing, it starts fetching you money.
Let's go on a short break because we do have to have that conversation about power supply because that is one of the biggest issues. So please, stay with us on Dateline Abuja. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Dateline Abuja right here on Channels Television. And Mr. Temitola Johnson joins us today, the essay to the president on MSMEs. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about power supply. Because you can't do anything in business right now in Nigeria if you are relying on power supply from the grid. You will be sorely disappointed. But then the cost of generators and fuel, even the solar panels that you're mentioning, I've always wanted to find out if solar panel, if I was doing frozen fish, if my business was, is this solar panel that I'll use to power these massive fridges that we're talking about right now? So even if I do use solar, it will be very expensive. What can the office on MSMEs do for business people when it comes to power supply?
I must be brutally honest. As it is right now, the best that we're able to offer, or what we can offer for the moment, is alternate source of power, such as solar and or whatnot. However, I'm aware that the Ministry of the Minister of Power, I am aware that they are working on a scheme that will benefit even SMEs. Basically, the full details of that scheme I do not know, but I'm aware that they are working on something that might be that MSMEs in Nigeria will even benefit from. Basically, that will sort of guarantee lights for some time for business owners. But as it is right now,
so like a district, I see that happen in many parts of the world where particular districts pay particular premiums on electricity because they need particular hours of electricity, like industrial districts. Are we going to see that happening?
So, like I said, Kela, the full details I do not know. But I'm aware something is brewing. The minister is very innovative, so I'm aware that they are having some discussions, and our MSMEs will benefit from it. It might not be too far from what you're talking about, because if you have areas that are that are concentrated with SMEs, so they might want to pay special attention to such areas.
So let's talk about something else that's plaguing MSMEs in Nigeria: security, especially North Central, Northwest, Northeast, even in the South now. You know, there's a lot of people who are farmers are MSMEs. So a lot of people who are farmers are dealing with, in places like Benue, they're going through that situation right now. And then, of course, the insecurity in many parts of the country, they're unable to even live there, talk less of farming and actually growing their small cassava business, my small ginger business. You know, we've seen so many people from those areas talk about what they have to deal with. In some parts of this country, we have people who have to pay bandits so that their farms are not attacked, so that they can run their businesses. Is there anything from the office? I know that the security agencies are in charge of that one. But is there anything that the office is doing to help such people? Some plan for their future, maybe?
You know, that's the NSA, the CDS, all the security chiefs, even to the DSS, IG, all of them, they are constantly in talks to ensure that the security of lives and property of everyone is guaranteed. It's not something that they take lightly. At that level, we know and are convinced that they are dealing with it. They are dealing with it. It's unfortunate that we've had these sort of cases we have had in Benue and Plateau and some other parts of the country. You know, these are not. You see, when people come to try to destroy us as a nation, when you cross the line of party line, you cross the line of religion line, and you cross the line of ethnicity, then that's when you know that we are first Nigerians. We are first Nigerians when you decide you want to go and kill kids, innocent kids, you want to go and kill women and men for doing nothing, then you understand that there's no Hausa, there's no Yoruba, there's no there's no Igbo. Then you understand that we are first Nigerians. We defend ourselves as first Nigerians, basically speaking. So I'm aware that the security chiefs are dealing with this, and we have trust and confidence in them, basically. It's unfortunate, it is souls of all those who have lost as a result of these senseless killings. May their souls rest in peace.
Amen. Because for many people, while you're talking about how we're going to do this and do that, the truth is we've been asking, how is our manufacturing sector working in Nigeria? You're not going anywhere if you're not manufacturing, if you're still importing. We've seen the presidency talk about Nigeria first. So let's talk about the Nigeria first policy and how the MSME space can help to drive that policy of government.
You see, when that policy was announced, I just said bravo. Bravo in the sense that that's the way to go. You push your economy through the small business space. We have it in us. It's in here. You see, when you sew and I buy, and the next person wears, buy us, for us. Do you understand? Things like that. So basically speaking, that policy is going to help trigger, and we are not going to see the results in 1 month, in 3 months. We are going to start seeing the results. But we will need, now that we are being very deliberate about it, the results will start coming. The results will start coming because the likes of India, China, started with being deliberate. Started with being deliberate, extremely deliberate about those policies. So when there's a policy framework, and we now need to ensure that it works. We now need to ensure that those in government and those in places that should ensure that it works actually stick to it, that it works. Then we'll see the results.
That is something to really look forward to, being deliberate about it. And are you assuring the Nigerian people that the Tinubu administration has the political will, the backbone to see this through?
You see, what I've noticed about President Tinubu is that he wouldn't sign off on something he doesn't have the conviction that he thinks can work. He's a very bold man. He's a very, very bold person. The president is extremely bold. And in his own, I'm president. If I cannot make this work for my people, then, so he was convinced. And I believe that the tie is on all of us to ensure that it works.
In closing, just talk to the Nigerian business person, especially these young men and women who are deciding not to work for anybody. They want to be able to run their own businesses. Hopefully, they will become empires, you know. And to the young Nigerian person who's hearing about all of these things and hearing that there's hope, but still is a little worried about the future of his or her business, what should they know from your office?
So what I'll say to every Nigerian business owner or aspiring business owner is to say that, nothing good comes easy. For those that watch football, to get to a final, you must play. First of all, you must be in a group, then go to the quarter, semi, then before you get to the final. You get to the final, sometimes you might not even win, but at least you're in the final. God do it, then you go and win, and that's another thing. It's tough. I'm here sitting down, I'm a government official, I can say it is tough. We understand that it's tough. We don't pretend about it. We know that it's tough. But as a Nigerian business owner, I understand that you are more likely to make more profits in this country than anywhere in the world. Businesses, as a business owner, if the conditions and the environment are made easy for you, you can do profit of 20-30% of whatever trade you are. Sometimes even in the housing sector, they do as much as 1,800. Do you know that abroad you cannot do more than 11% of profit in most cases? And I'm talking about the United States, maybe Canada, UK. But in Nigeria, you are at liberty to do wider profit margins. But do not give up. If you think, for those that are dexterous with their hands, do not give up. It is easier to make it as a business owner in this country than in any other space, you know, basically. So we're on this journey together, and we will not leave anyone behind in ensuring that the business space in this country is sanitized for the Nigerian people.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Johnson, for being with us on Dateline Abuja. Good luck with all the work you have ahead of you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Remember to take advantage of every opportunity in the MSME space in this country. Go to the websites, ask questions, and we are here for you. I'm Kayla Megwa. See you next time.